Hey everyone, welcome back. So actually I wasn't planning on doing a video today. It's Sunday. I was actually going to just let the videos that I have the clips for run out today and just take it easy. But noticing a lot of chat, obviously on Twitter, about the network transaction fees going way up on Bitcoin and what that actually means for Bitcoin miners. So I thought we would just kind of dive into that really quick, go over some things. We'll look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, see what's going on there. And as always, you guys know that this is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. I'm investing in finding coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum, see what's going on there as far as price action is concerned. And then we'll get into the actual Bitcoin network fees and what that actually entails for the miners here. So Bitcoin right now is at 28,790, right around there. It's down a little bit here on the day. Today it's down 0.39 right now. It should be changing over to the new day in about 37 minutes or so from when I'm recording this. But you can still see on the chart here that we are still trading within our wedge here as we were yesterday as well. We went up kind of high, but came down, and then we're kind of sitting right above our resistance line right now. Support line at 28,600, which is still good. RSI is at 50 right now. It's still looking pretty good. Price is actually a little bit lower here. If we compare, RSI is a little bit higher here. Hard to compare. Maybe back here, price was actually lower at that point. So it still looks pretty good there. 4-hour chart, we can see here RSI is back down to 45. Price is actually higher. Actually, no, it's lower than where it was back over here. But if we go far enough back, it's actually higher on that one. And then on the 1-hour chart, trying to find another point here. It's 39 right now on the RSI. On the 1-hour chart, last time was back here. Price was actually, looks like, a little bit higher on it. So we'll see if we have a little bit of reversal here on the 1-hour, but we'll keep an eye on it. Right now it's trading within that ledge that we have, the wedge. But we'll see how it goes going forward. Let's take a look at the chart with the 1-day averages here. So the 20-day, it's still bouncing off of the 20-day moving average, it looks like right here. And then our 50-day average is back down here. And we haven't kind of gotten that low since, well, the 1st of May here. It looks like we bounced off of that. So that might be a good sign there as well. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on with Bitcoin right now. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick as well. Ethereum is also kind of right now bouncing off of this 20-day moving average as well. Came down to the 50-day, tested that, went back above it. And we're sitting at the 20-day average as well on the daily chart right now. So we'll keep an eye on both of those two guys and see what's going on here. But let's get into the main meat of the story. But first, also I almost forgot, the network hash rate right now. You can see the network hash rate. The 7-day average is at 345 million. On the 7-day, on the 1-day, it is actually back up to a little bit here to 355 million. It's still quite a ways away from our peak here at 440 million, which was a real high day for the network hash rate back then. That was a couple of days ago. Okay, so let's get into what's going on with the Bitcoin mining fees, so network fees. So here's a graph of the Bitcoin total transaction fees per day. This goes for the last 3 months. And we can see that we've been averaging kind of right around, I would say maybe around the 600,000 mark as far as how many dollar fees per day is being transacted here for the most part. On the average, we have some peaks here at about 1.2 million. But just recently at the beginning of, well, the end of April, towards the beginning of May, it has really started to pick up here where on April 30th, it was at 1.3, almost 1.4 million in fees. And then May 1st, we got up to 2.015 million in fees. And now just yesterday, we finished out the day at approximately 5.31 million fees per day. So what does that actually entail for the miners and in general for the Bitcoin network? So first things first, let's talk about really quick on as far as the smaller transactions, so microtransactions, right? Anything that anybody would be using Bitcoin to, say, purchase things with. Everyday things like in other countries where they use Bitcoin to, like in Argentina, let's say, right? They're using it to purchase coffee, groceries, things like that. But they are also, I think, using the Lightning Network, which is supposed to make micropayments much more cost effective. So if they're doing that, I think that's fine. But if you're going to do micropayments with Bitcoin right now, with the fees being up where they are, it just wouldn't make sense. So you probably wouldn't want to buy a $5 cup of coffee and pay $10 in fees for it, and you're paying $15 for a cup of coffee. But if you're moving 100,000 or $1 million, $10 million worth of Bitcoin, you pay $10 on it. It's still relatively inexpensive to do so. So that's kind of the two sides of it, right? You get the micropayments and you get the large transfers that we're dealing with here. The good thing for it is, however, is the miners. The miners are benefiting quite nicely from this. So we'll take a look at some numbers that I do have here for Marathon. I took a look at the numbers that they were mining here as far as the last 7 days. And this is, I believe, Marathon's wallet here. We can see here that they actually got one of the blocks They got 10.14. Let me see if I can zoom this in for you guys. 10.14 BTC roughly for one block. That's an extra, what is it, almost 3 point something BTC extra in fees in that. That is a huge increase from where they were getting before. So I took all the numbers here for them, and basically you're supposed to get about 6.25 reward for BTC when you're mining it. And let me see if I can zoom this in as well for you guys so you guys can see it. There we go. So normally BTC reward block is 6.25 Bitcoins, right? Currently where it stands, obviously next year is going to be halved in half. So then you're going to get, what is it going to be, 3.125 next year. But right now we're getting 6.25. So when they got 10.14, that is an extra 3.89 Bitcoin right now on top of what they normally would get for a block reward. So that is a huge increase in the fees that they are getting paid for it. And that would be, well, if you take just $30,000 on it, roughly, you're looking at close to, what's it going to be, close to $110,000 extra just on that alone for not doing anything else other than doing what you've been doing already. So I ran all the numbers here for the last 7 days for Marathon on it, put it all in the spreadsheet, and here's what we got. So they mined a total, or got rewarded, 318.22 Bitcoin in the last 7 days. That equates to about 43.22 Bitcoin in extra fees. That's a lot. That's, what does that come out to be? Comes out to be like 15.72% more than they normally would have gotten, I believe. Right? If we take 275, let's just do 275 equals 275 times the 1.1572, we get to 318.23. Yeah. So 15.72% equals to 318.22 BTC that they got rewarded. That equates to the extra 43.22 is an extra 1.2 million in the last 7 days of revenue extra for them, right? Without doing anything else, just based on the network fees alone, that's a bonus to them of 1.2 million. That's for 7 days. Multiply that by 4 weeks, more or less, and you get to about 5 million extra in just Bitcoin fees, possibly. That's huge. So that's going to be a huge impact on the miners. So 15.72% added to it. We'll see if this averages out, but you can see here in the beginning of the month, they were at 6.41 Bitcoin, 6.32. They were getting a little bit in fees, like 0.16 here, 0.07, 0.14. This was more in line with what we've been seeing here for the past, you could say, couple of years here. We've had some spikes here and there, but for the most part, it's been kind of just these little fees here. But you can see it's been starting to ramp up here. 0.58, 0.49, 0.54, 0.58, 0.77, 1.33 extra in Bitcoin fees, 0.98, and it's kind of been up and down a little bit, but it has been continuing to go up here. And you can see 1.41, 1.44, 1.5, 1.39, and now we've gotten over the weekend here to 2.36, 2.21, and then 3.89. So with the fees, it looks like people are trying to get their transactions processed, so gas fees. People are maybe bidding a little bit higher on the transaction fees as it goes so they can get them through. We also have the ordinals, which are obviously inscripted into the blockchain here on Bitcoin, that are also having an impact on it. We're having more and more ordinals, it seems like, are going through with it. But overall, I just wanted to point this out to you guys, what an impact this has on the miners for not doing anything other than what they are already doing. So this is a huge boom, I think, for this month at least. We'll see how long this continues going forward. I don't know if this is going to be just one of those trends that kind of picks up a little bit and then comes back down. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But this is obviously really good for the miners here as far as what they could be possibly mining. But it is a little bit more tricky as far as what you're trying to estimate what the miners could be making going forward, because you just don't know what the fees are going to add up to. Right? If the fees add up to a lot higher percentage, 15% extra, well, that's a lot. So that kind of makes it a little bit more challenging on my part, but that's not a big deal. I'll see if I can figure it out. I'll either track the transaction fees daily, see what's going on there, and kind of calculate it from there. I'll have to figure something out, but that's not a big deal. Okay, but overall, I think this is great news for, obviously, Mara, Riot. They're mining a lot. CleanSpark, Iris Energy, Wolf, Cypher, some of the other guys that are out there, Bitfarms as well. This is also going to be probably pretty good for Hive, Hut 8. Who else do we have here? Some of these smaller guys even. DigiHost, DMG as well. Okay, so this is obviously great news for them. It's starting to be a pretty good month for, well, Marathon's having a great month right now. If they keep this up at 318 by the end of the month, they might be at, what would that be, around 1,200 or so? Yeah, 1,250 maybe Bitcoins, which would be a huge increase from where they were just last month. But we'll see if they can maintain this going forward. We know the marathon sometimes has these huge upswings and then kind of falls down a little bit towards the end of the month or middle of the month, where they curtail a little bit. So we'll see. Okay, that is all that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. Let me know what you guys think of all of this. Do you guys have any other insight as far as what's going on here? But this is kind of what I've been able to figure out. And yeah, we'll see how this continues going forward into this week. So we'll kind of keep track of it. All right. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We'll see what else we have going on. And then we'll see what happens the rest of the week. All right. So have a great Sunday. I'll see you guys tomorrow.